What's going on, everybody? It's WebsterStyle Brian Sapph with another edition of the NRW Checkpoint. And Brian, we are still in the doldrums of summer because they ain't releasing jack.
Right.
But we got some interesting games. One game that is sparked this fanboy debate about the Xbox Series S. One is a simulation, which actually is kind of interesting. And the other one is a game that I actually saw the trailer for a few days ago. Like, what is this? Because it's actually dropping on Game Pass as well. And it looks like a really cool game, especially to play with family. And based on some people that I know, they might like it as well. So let's start off with first up, that simulation. F1 Manager 2023, PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, and Switch. Obviously, it's a simulation, racing simulation. It's from Frontier Developments. F1 Manager 2023 challenges you to manage the F1 team of your choice on your terms. Start your career as team principal at one of the 10 F1 teams and manage every aspect from the factory to the garage to the starting grid. It offers a detailed management system, giving you control over your drivers, staff, and cars. Your decisions determine how your season unfolds. I expect all that in a manager game.
Right. A management sim, yeah.
But you know what, though? And again, not saying I don't dislike F1. I've never gotten into racing like that. But that actually sounds fascinating to me from a simulation aspect. Personally.
Yeah. I can agree. Like, I'm not a F1 type of person or whatever, but I guess I loosely follow. I'm not like, I'm not I'm not a fan, but right. I see things mentioned here and there on social media, and I'm like, okay, this is dope. The management aspect would for me at least interest me because I don't understand anything about the business side of car racing. So that's that's dope in itself.
Right. No, I agree with you on that one. I think probably because it's a sport. Like, I wouldn't be interested in NASCAR if there was a NASCAR simulator, but it's something about F1 that says this sounds really cool and interesting to basically be an F1 manager and to run that simulation and run through the tracks. I don't know. Maybe it's just the mystique of F1 racing, like with Indy 500 and everything. It's just, I don't know, something there.
Yeah, I agree. I can't quite place it. Maybe it's the cars, because
I was thinking that too. Might be the cars.
Yeah, or it got to be the cars, or the fact that the tracks sometimes are like in real cities, like on the streets of real cities. Either way, the management side of it, that sounds very, very interesting.
Yeah,
I like a good manager too.
I agree. Next up, we have a game that's dropping on Game Pass as well on day one, and this is Venba on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch, PC, and I say Game Pass. Now, when we see this trailer, we're watching all the trailers. We only have 3 games today. We are. You'll definitely see why I say that this fits well with the Switch, but I think it's just such a great family-friendly game. It's an adventure game from Visai Games. Venba is a short narrative cooking game where you play as an Indian mom who immigrates to Canada with her family in the 1980s. Players will cook various dishes and restore lost recipes, hold branching conversations, and explore in this story about family, love, loss, and more.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and I would bet to imagine that this story is very personal to the game developers. It seems like a personal story.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Visai Games is the name of the.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds. I mean, I don't want to. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Either way. But yeah. So this is for all of the. What's the famous cooking game? What's it called? The
Cooking Mama.
Overcooked.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, if you that one too, what you said. Or if you like cooking simulator games, but you don't want all the stress of having to do everything before time runs out, this probably is a good one for you.
Yeah, this sounds really cool, especially with the story and the family narrative. It seems like we're all about narratives, and I love how game developers are able to use the art of gaming to tell a story, especially one about family, especially one about love and heart. And this is why, and this game looks very accessible to many different audiences as well, which I thought it just looked like a really good game. And also, it runs for $14.99, but I think most places, Steam and Xbox, have it on sale for like $12.47. So it's a relatively inexpensive game as well. And of course, too, it's on Game Pass. So, you know, if you got Game Pass, you can just hop in and play it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And last with our new releases this week is Baldur's Gate 3 on the PS5 and PC. Now, this, before we get into the description, well, obviously it's an RPG, it's the Baldur Gate series. This is a game that, Brian, I get sick of fanboys.
Okay. As do I.
I look, I'm very much, I have an Xbox. I've owned an Xbox since 2001, 2002.
Okay. OG.
I am not a Microsoft fanboy. I feel as though they have very good customer service, and I've never had issues when I've had problems with my devices or any of my Microsoft related sort of wares. Okay. I am not a fanboy. I'm not going to sit and say, oh, because it doesn't run on or is not on PS5, oh, it's my system's better. It's like, I don't care about that. Or something's on. That's like, that is like me saying that, oh, the whole Ratchet and Clank thing, right? And how people are dumping on Sony, rightfully so, for the BS about the SSD drive, and now it's running on PC and running on PCs with no SSDs. Okay, great. But people have harped on this game because it's only on PS5 and PC for now.
Right.
And use this as a game to say, see, this is why the Series S shouldn't exist. Like, developers don't like the Series S. It's holds them up, yada, 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 yada. Like, I've heard this for months about this game. And I'm thinking, it really, when you, like, I'm not a technical person, okay? But I'm just looking at specs. I'm like, is it really that different? Like, from a technical standpoint?
And you know, I'm glad you mentioned this, right? Because technology has been going in a direction with, you know, all of the specs and things that I don't think people fully understand. Like, some of the things that your consoles and computers and things that they're able to produce, a lot of that stuff is not the human body, the eyes and the ears, they can't pick up on a lot of that stuff. And I don't think people necessarily understand that when they start making all these comparisons or whatever. I think they go on YouTube and they're like, oh, this is the game at this frame rate. This is the game, and they do a little side-by-side thing. They don't even realize, like, okay, graphically it might be a little different or whatever, but a lot of that is shading and layovers and all kind of things that goes into effect when certain components are placed together for consoles versus PC and everything. I don't know. I just feel like people, they looking for a reason to argue with each other over this whole console war shit. And personally, like yourself, like I like Sony. Like, I have had PlayStation since like the first one. Like, I've always had PlayStation, had PSP, all of that. But it's not like, oh, because PlayStation got all these exclusive games, I'll never do that. I don't care about that kind of stuff. It's literally just, this is what I'm used to. And if I'm being honest, a lot of my consoles are gifts. Like, people buy me these things, they know I like the game. So it's like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I prefer Xbox. Like, no, like, I've been playing PlayStation. You know that about me. You bought me a PlayStation. I like that. All of this, it's just the console war thing going into full effect. It's very dumb,
stupid. Like,
because this is gonna be the conversation is gonna change once it does go over to Xbox. And it's gonna be, we'll see. Well, at least we had it before. Like, nobody cares. Right? I don't care.
Nobody cares. And
it's even on PC, so Microsoft is still winning at the end of the day.
Exactly. But this, even the developer said, like, hey, we're a small team. It takes a bit more time to optimize for these systems. We do this first, Then we get to the optimization for the other system. We release it. End of story. But people are always on conspiracy. I'm just like this. I don't understand how people have so much time to get on the internet and to dick ride mega corporations who all they want is their money.
Right.
I don't understand. I like Microsoft. I like the Xbox. I ain't gonna say, oh, Xbox is the best and you should get the Xbox. Like, no, look, I've been gaming for at least 41 years, okay? At least, because I can only really remember back to 4 years old. So at least 41 years.
Right.
Okay. I have never cared what system played what as long as I could play the game I liked.
Exactly. And that's really all this should be about.
Yes.
Can you play the game that you want to play?
Right.
Now, I can understand if you are on the less fortunate side, meaning if you are not fortunate enough to have a job where you could just go out and buy whatever console you want, talking to the teenagers and the preteens specifically, since they seem to be the ones that have the most to say. I can understand being upset. Oh, all I have is PlayStation. I don't have, or Xbox. I don't have enough money to go buy a PlayStation so I can play this game that I really, really want to play. That's understandable. This is not. This doesn't mean like your console is worse or better or anything like that. You just broke. You poor, and your family doesn't care. No, I'm just playing. But eventually, you understand once you become a working adult. Like some of this shit really don't matter.
No,
you get what you can afford, or you get what you like. Either way. As long as you can play the game you want to play, that's all that matters.
Let's just play video games and call it a day.
Exactly.
Stop worrying about the BS.
You see, that stuff really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Because Nintendo doesn't get any of these games, and they're still outselling both consoles. Like so, all of this back and forth is really just people wanting to have something to argue about. I don't know why people like being mad so much, but it's bad for your health. I'll say that.
Right. Some people got too much time on hands. Let's talk about this game, Baldur's Gate 3 RPG from Larian Studios. Baldur's Gate 3 is a story-rich, party-based RPG set in the universe of Dungeons and Dragons. So it has that Dungeons and Dragons pedigree there, where your choices shape a tale of fellowship and betrayal, survival and sacrifice, and the lure of absolute power.
Now, I don't know. Have you ever played Baldur's Gate?
I have not. I've heard good things about the series, but I've never played. Actually, no. I feel like there were some questions about Baldur's Gate 2. My memory may be mistaken because I heard some things about Baldur's Gate 2 as they started to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. But my memory, I'm getting old. My memory may not be as sharp as it used to be when it comes to that. So, but I've never played any of the games.
Okay. Yeah, me either. And I have a PlayStation 5. I don't know what I don't know how I don't know if I want this game. We're gonna see what the trailer was talking about.
Yep, let's check out. Let's start with first trailer for F1 Manager 2023.
Okay.
A sprint victory and points up for grabs right here.
Push as much as you can. Copy.
Can they push more, I wonder? They can't afford to sit back and relax now.
Box. Are we in trouble or not?
A chance to see just what Charles Leclerc can achieve here. Oh, and that's a crash!
Are there any opportunities? I'm driving. Push and hold, overtake.
I'm really digging this.
I'm push now, maximum push now.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
Good one for the team.
You're racing.
A fantastic result for McLaren. Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That even the whole driving interface where you are driving, but you're not driving, and you're literally influencing the driver to be more aggressive or do this. Like, That's pretty ingenious system, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really appreciate games like that. They give you a little bit more because driving games are pretty what's the word? Not generic, but they don't have much you can do because driving is never
a formula. You drive different tracks, different cars,
right.
Those cars, a different challenge. Yeah, there's a formula to many driving racing games. Yeah,
right. So I like this extra layer of I guess it would be like tactics.
Yeah,
because
tactics a good way of putting, especially in that what we saw with the how you influence the driver is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. That looks cool.
All right, so we leave the racetrack and go to the kitchen with Venba.
Let's see what Mom is cooking. Mind you, this is the 1980s.
Yeah, 1980s Canada. Eh?
Before I knew Canada even existed. The food don't look bad, no.
Nah. I'm loving the art style.
Me too.
See the progression of the film for 4 years. That's pretty cool.
I think what I would like most about this game is being able to experience like the different dishes, because obviously I'm not.
Yeah.
Like this will probably be like really, really dope to like just learn about the culture.
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think that's a game that people should play. Like just to have some understanding.
I agree. And it's cheap too, even if you're going to buy it. You're talking about right now $15 on many places. You're talking about less than 13, at least on Steam and Xbox. I'm not sure if either it's on sale on PlayStation or Switch, but it seems like a really cool game. I'll probably, depending on my weekend, I'll probably jump into it as well and see how some other people like it also, because I think they'll really dig it too.
Yeah, that's like a good like Nintendo Switch purchase. I also like, I don't know if this is like the complete gameplay that we saw in the trailer, but it looks pretty simple.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be another like really good feature about the game, because the other cooking games we talk about, they can get a little like.
That's what I was talking about, that accessibility. It looks very accessible to everyone.
Very accessible. I agree.
All right. Next up, we have Baldur's Gate 3. Long sexual content.
Yeah, that's the first thing I saw. I was like, grown. Okay.
Few mortals ever glimpse what you're about to see. But don't be alarmed. I'm here with you.
It looks next gen-ish.
It does.
Now, open your eyes.
They moving like Sims a little bit. Oh no. Okay, a little moonlight leather. Look at this peeping squirrel.
Right.
Master, you are the chosen one.
Okay. Interesting.
I like the way it looks, but this is more of a commentary on this current generation. I know there have been many times that we have seen games and 2 years in or so, we don't feel like there's that much of a boost as far as how it looks. Like, it doesn't look that much better than the last generation, especially since we had the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. But I think where really the next gen or this current gen is really shining is it's providing the developers more capabilities to do more in the games, even though the games may not look like leaps and bounds better than the last generation. The tools they have to create more expansive worlds and to do more innovative things seem to be there, because that's what I'm getting more so overall in the gaming landscape. And Baldur's Gate seems like a game, just from the trailer, that is doing something to take advantage of the current gen systems to do more than what they could do last gen.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's what's being lost on the when it comes to the people who have a lot to say about this kind of stuff. Because, like I said, like visual capabilities, like you maxed out at this point.
Right.
Like I know they talking about 8K and all this other stuff, but your eyes can't really see that. Same thing with the sound. I know what is it? Dolby got the Atmos thing going, right. And there's different patches being put in place to like be able to incorporate that, but it's like it's not much you could do. I think the overall, like you said, what happens with the consoles when it comes to the next gen stuff is it just gives the developers more room to like do things. It makes the processors and everything faster so that they can be able to handle a more larger and expansive, diverse world and background. I think, honestly, they've been capitalizing on that. Well, at least all of the PlayStation 5 games that I've played, like load times are very, very low, if any. Like there's not very much glitching going on as far as working around these big, expansive environments and stuff like that. So I feel like the next gen like console is doing what it's supposed to do. I just don't understand what the consumers are expecting for it to do.
Well, I know part of it is and it's not our fault, it's how we've been trained by the companies. Look to graphics and graphical fidelity as the bellwether from one generation to the next.
Right.
And we saw, steps in the right direction from the 360 PS3 to Xbox One, PS4.
Definitely.
And then those mid-gen upgrades, feel it kicked in it. See, the mid-gen upgrades, in my opinion, have really killed that sort of graphical fidelity part, at least right now, because it was still very early in this console generation.
Yeah, I agree.
3 years from now, it might be totally different as far as how games look, where they're really utilizing the power of these consoles. But for right now, graphically speaking, I think most people will say that there isn't a humongous jump unless you're running something like 4K. And again, let's be real, most of us aren't
right
4K anything in 4K. So we're not seeing that humongous jump. But again, that's the company's fault, because for so long, that's what they touted as the how to measure the prowess of a given platform was the graphical fidelity of the games and how detailed the graphics were. And now that we're at this point where, let's be real, that doesn't matter as much.
It doesn't.
Now it's biting them in their behinds, because now we as gamers are like, well, it doesn't look like it should be next gen. Why isn't this running on the PS4, Xbox One? Case in point, they're making ports of Jedi Survivor for the PS4 and the Xbox One now. I'm like,
right. And people are like, why? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's their fault. But, we have gotten to a point where it's hopefully with these new systems, and Baldur Gate 3 seems like one of those games that it would definitely take advantage of that. It really comes down to gameplay and utilizing the systems to create expansive and immersive worlds.
I agree. I feel like as the console generation continues to age, we'll see a lot less, we're going to port it back to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox and all that. And we'll see a lot more games only live on the next gen consoles, because the older ones really won't be able to handle it. I think the games that were put out now, they were in development back before the PS5s and Xbox One or Xbox X and S came out. So, obviously there's portability there, because the games didn't have what they will have in the next 3 to 5 years, better engines and everything like that to build the games. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to see where gaming goes overall. Baldur Gate 3, it looks interesting. I got sim vibes from it. I guess it's just the way that people were walking in motion and things like that. But overall, the story looks like it could be one that's compelling. I'm just not familiar with it. Same way I'm not familiar with what's going on with Diablo, but it looked like a good game.
Yeah, same here. I've never played Diablo, but I get it.
So I don't know. I'm gonna continue to check it out, because I might be interested. It is at its core is what it's an RPG.
Right.
So I don't know, but we'll see.
We talk about where gaming is going. Let's talk about where we've been. There was a recent release for the Xbox last week or week before. It's not a game,
okay,
but it's a cloud streaming service. AntStream Arcade. It dropped on the PC, but it offers 1,000+ games, going all the way back to the Atari, the ZX Spectrum. There's even like PS1 games, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and I believe it's $29.99 for the year, or at least on Xbox, you can pay $79.99 and get a lifetime pass. But wanted to check that out because I thought that was really cool, and it'd be interesting if they strike deals with other platforms to come onto their systems. I thought at the end of the day, that's a really good price for a streaming service to go back and play retro games.
Agreed.
All right, let's check out the trailer. Metal Snow.
Classic Games global leader. Oh, they got a global leaderboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Weekly tournaments. For the real players. Okay.
I actually, when I saw this announced, I read about it, and then I ended up seeing it, YouTube and the algorithm.
Right.
Always brings something up that you want to see because they're always listing Google. But I ended up seeing someone's review of it, and this person actually had it on the PC as well, but then they reviewed it on the Xbox. And it's really interesting how the community challenges. So in your area, they have challenges. They have global leaderboards, and they have specific challenges like tailored to it, like the gameplay that you have. I just thought it was really cool, and for the price, it was a really good price. I'm like, man, this is it may be $29 or $39, I don't remember, but it was still a very affordable price to have all those games and adding games all the time, like the PS1 stuff. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, there's nothing that most people know, nothing like Sony or anything like that, but that's something, a system they just added, so they're still adding games and systems to the platform as well.
Right. That's really dope. I hope they find a way to get that over to the Switch, because a lot of those games perfect for that handheld accessibility.
They're kind of direct competition when Nintendo's offering those, as they do pretty much cloud gaming also.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I like the concept though. It's really dope. It kind of reminds me of the PlayStation trophy system, where like they give you like trophies for doing specific things in the game.
Right.
Now, what do these trophies get you? Nothing. Bragging rights.
Right.
But for something like that, because I feel like all PlayStation owners would like to get something special for their trophy work.
Yeah.
So for actual like cloud streaming service to have that kind of I don't know, for that kind of business model to be like the main, the core of what they're trying to do, I really, really like that, because it gives you a reason to not only play the games, but it gives you a reason to get into games you might not have normally checked out.
Right, exactly.
I don't know, I like that. All the community stuff, and yeah, I just definitely see myself trying to wrestle up some people to be like,
yeah,
I'm playing Ninja Turtles with me real quick so I can get this. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. It's available now?
I'm sorry?
It's available now?
Yeah, on Xbox, and it's been on PC for like the past year.
Okay.
I understand. So it's been out there. But I think with the Xbox launch, they added more games. And like I said, they also added the I think the Xbox launch culminated with them adding PlayStation games as well as I think Super Nintendo games. I don't believe those were there. I think it focused mostly on older systems and old arcade games.
Makes sense.
So that's our takes on Ant Stream Arcade. Brian, what's going on with you this week?
I'm currently in the process of writing in the next episode of the Talk+Play blerdcast. And the last episode that came out, Passport Bros in the Deli, is available now wherever you stream your podcasts. Pop culture stuff. Video gaming has been very, very dry as of late, so not much to talk about there, but some things, some music projects that came out recently that I was interested in checking out, share my opinions on those, and I tried my best to be in support of that SAG-AFTRA strike. So there's a few commentaries on some things that I've been watching, but not much, because pay these people more, bro. It's not really that big of a deal. Like, just get folks some more money so that they could feed themselves and be actually excited to create television and movie content for us to view. You're going to make millions and billions anyway. Split it up some more. What's the problem? But that's it for me. What you got going?
Well, I was speaking in reference to that. I read an article where, and they did the math. If each of the heads of all the major studios took a 2% pay cut, 2%. And mind you, you're talking about a handful of people.
Right.
That would fund financially the demands of both the actors and the writers. And we ain't talking about the AI stuff. We're just talking about the money part of it. 2%.
2%. And you see how much of a fight they putting up to keep that 2%.
Exactly.
Which is crazy to me. I saw kind of stuff, we're gonna let AI write scripts and stuff like that. Nobody watching nothing that's written by no AI, because AI they're not humans. They're not gonna be able to write the kind of shit that's gonna pull at us and make us want to watch or continue to watch. But I guess that's for
gaming.
Right. Which Microsoft, I know you acquiring some things, or you trying to. Don't pull this kind of stuff. Make sure the developers and everything, because that was an issue prior that held up. There's some stuff going on with Activision and Blizzard where the developers wasn't, harassment, not fair
Microsoft,
pay.
Look, they're gonna clean house. Trust me, they're gonna clean house once this happens.
That's what we need.
So we know it. But let's see. For me, it's been a light week. Dropped episode 156. So my audio version, my interview with Miss Cormier Bridges, who's the host of the Pillow Talk with Tea podcast, is there. Also talked about, and I totally blank on the game I talked about this week. I talked about London Oud number 9 is the fragrance of the week this week. And then I also dropped a video talking about some very inexpensive and pretty good quality. It's the facial care stuff. I'm still dubious on the fragrance. It's serviceable, but it's a lot better than the $5 you pay for it is. I'll put it like that. But some inexpensive grooming products from Lidl, of all places. So that video dropped this week also. But you are currently with Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Yes, we're calling it Twitter for right now. At the NRW, Instagram at New Blues Wednesday. Of course, you're currently on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe.